Ishmaelites, the different Arab, all the Arab group, the Arab world, they're Hebrews, all right? They're all Hebrews, all right?
Right.
We just happen to be Israelites, or Hebrew Israelites.
Hebrew Israelites, right.
That's right. Now, how many Israelites at that debate or watching you on YouTube converted to being Kemite? Now, if they did it, good. You can, well, 20 of them. Okay, then guess what? Then you can say you won. And that's your prize right there, them 20 lost souls that you got. Then you can say you won. But you give me one Hebrew or Hebrew Israelite that came on your side. So all that work that you're doing is in vain, man. It ain't going nowhere, man. And then, the spirit on Israel is we keep coming, man. We like a fight, especially a spiritual fight, man. Yeah, and then this is making us deeper, man. Because Nazi had made a statement in the thing. I watched the whole thing, which was a hell of a good presentation. All right. It caught me for the whole. I watch everything, man. Just like y'all watch us, we watch y'all too. Okay. Anyway, he said that he had made a statement 2 years prior, and Polite jumped on it, and he admitted that he was wrong, and he said, "You growing this thing." Because Israel is about growing. And you know what he found out? He called the audiences of the Kemetic side, he called them zombies. Because they don't really study. And Polite knows that. So when he brings out something, they just go with it. Whatever Polite says or whatever Shaka said, they just go with it. They don't check back to see if that's the case. So that made Nazi a better historian, which he goes into the history anyway, especially in that Egyptian history. So that made him a better historian, or go even deeper into history, ancient history. That made Zion Lex, whatever history he has, he's going deeper, and that's making us more deeper. But we don't go crazy doing all that because we know it's bullshit anyway. We know that Egyptian shit. We know that the Egyptian yes, the Egyptians did exist, but you guys are not Egyptians, man. And you can't even identify an original Egyptian in Africa. You can't even identify them. You just group them up into one. Or anybody that's a black African, their line goes back to Egypt. No, that's bullshit, man. You had Canaanites. Among the Canaanites, you had Amorites. You had Girgashites. You had Hittites. You had Cushites. And none of these people are Mizraimites, which are Egyptians. Just because you have people that live in Africa doesn't necessarily mean that their line goes back to Egypt, all right? And where did the hell the word Kemet come from, man? I asked Polite and saw a nigga when he came down to the camp. What was that, a year and a half ago? Almost 2 years ago? And they didn't. Well, it just means black. And so where I try to go deeper, they don't know. They don't know. So you guys are losing this battle, man. And what's ironic, you defending Egypt and you're not even Egyptian, man. Polite said he checked out his genealogy and it goes back to the Igbo. The Igbo are not Egyptians, all right? Then you made some statement that their line goes back to Egypt. Where's the source on that, man? See, that's what we learn from you. When you make a statement, we're going to ask you for the source, man. I don't have to do a whole, I don't got to read 800 books about Egypt, man. All I got to do is question you about the source. And I guarantee you it goes back to a fucking white man.
Absolutely.
Check, Anta Diop was married to a white woman, all right? He praised, and I believe he opened up a museum in the name of one of his professors. I forget his name. And this guy was a cracker. And where he learned that so-called Kemetic information, he went to France. That ain't Africa, nigga. That ain't Africa. Right. Dr. Ben had to go learn it from the white man. I have a video on that. I got to bring it up, but it's in my archives, all right, of videos that he had to come up under the so-called white man and learn this stuff. The fact that you got Reggie talking about he knows how to read Metu, am I saying it right? Metu Netta, if I'm saying it right, I don't give a shit. Professor Smalls, which I met him like 25 years ago. I went to that college over there because he invited the elders, our elders, to teach it at one of his classes that Saturday. We met him on a Friday. I remember when he had dreadlocks. He had long dreadlocks, man. Okay. Now he said that he taught Reggie, but now Reggie's teaching him because he said he didn't know the language, if I'm saying it right, the Metu Netta, if I'm saying it right. But he said Reggie knows it. Well, hold up. If Reggie is a student of Professor Smalls, then where did Reggie go to learn it? Did it come to him in a dream, in a vision? He had to learn it from somebody. He had to read it from books or have some teacher teach him that. Most likely he read books, and I guarantee you them books go back to the so-called white man. That's your authority, man, that you go to. The so-called. If it wasn't for the white man, you wouldn't know nothing about a Kemet.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, while you were speaking, I looked up lists of Egyptologists on Wikipedia. And they give you a list of Egyptologists, which they define as this. An Egyptologist is any archaeologist, archaeologist, historian, linguist, or art historian who specializes in Egyptology, the scientific study of ancient Egypt and its antiquities. So that's basically the definition. And then when you go down the list, basically the majority of these Egyptologists were from either Britain, America, or Germany, French or France, Polish or Poland. Okay, and they give you, you'll see the list of names in post-production. These are the people that specialize, like I just read to you the definition, they specialize in the archaeologist means study of the old. Okay, when you break down the word, historian, linguist, so they specialize in the language of ancient Egypt, the history of ancient Egypt, the study of ancient Egypt, the art of ancient Egypt, and it's basically so-called white people, man. Okay? Basically so-called white people. They got this guy Jean-Francois Champiolon, which Elder Tal always talks about him, Jean-Francois Champiolon.
I believe, according to Nazi, I got to check it out for myself because we check out everything, man. That Champiolon is supposed to be related to Napoleon. And you know what Napoleon did to the Egyptian the treasures, okay?
And there he is.
He's a Mason. He's supposed to be a Mason, too.
Absolutely, because in the painting, he's the hidden hand of Freemasonry, which you see a lot of those old characters. You'll see half their hand hidden in their coat. That's a Masonic hand gesture. It's called a hidden hand of Freemasonry. So basically, and I guarantee all these names here, they're all Masons. Which means they're all fawning at the feet of the Rothschilds. All right? Which, by the way, you want to talk about Egyptologists, the head Egyptologist would have to be the Rothschilds because they own all these so-called scientists in their pocket. They're all in the pocket of the Rothschilds. They have this guy, Howard Carter.